Hello, everyone. Colleen Neal. Let's talk about it. Today, I want to talk about two other symptoms that we don't talk about enough that have to do with vestibular migraine. One is fatigue, and the other is insomnia. Um, yes, they are both connected to vestibular migraine. Again, I talk from a patient's perspective. I am not a doctor. This is just my experience with vestibular migraine. I was diagnosed with vestibular migraine after being diagnosed after a car accident, actually just about a year ago. I also have occipital neuralgia, and I have a couple of videos about those. So, yes, fatigue is a really big part of vestibular migraine. The way I describe it is I have this much energy in one day. That's it. So I have to be really strategic about how I handle my day, right? So there's a lot of things that sap my energy. And I think as a patient, as a person with this condition, you have to be really aware of how you handle your energy, right? There's obviously stress that can sap my energy. There's the cognitive and mental pieces that can sap my energy, and there's physical pieces that can sap my energy. So I could start my day, and I can set out in the regular normal world where I can say, oh, I have these 5 or 6 things that I want to do today. And it took me probably 6 months to get over that, because the reality is those 6 to 7 things probably aren't going to happen. I'll be lucky now if I get 1 or 2 done. So I think the list making has to stop when you have vestibular migraine, and it's going to take a while to get over. I'm totally a type A personality. I'm the kind of person's like, go, go, go. I have a million plates in the air. That's how I live my life. It's how I've always lived my life. VM it really beat me up mentally to have this, because to not be able to do the things I want to do, it was really hard for me. I'm fiercely independent. If someone tells me I can't do something, I'm like, watch me. So this was a kick in the gut to have this kind of condition for me. So the bottom line is, if I'm going to try to do, let's say, I'm going to go work in my garden. I love to garden. So, okay, go ahead, go out and garden. Go ahead and do that. But know that by noon, you're done. Even just simple going around, watering all my plants, maybe doing a tiny bit of weeding. That might be all you got. And then by 11 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to have to lie down. That's it. So I think you're going to have to learn, to calibrate and titrate your energy. If I start the day not feeling well, that might not even be able to happen. So I think you need to think about what your energy level is, when the fatigue kicks in, and how that's going to work. One of the things I cried about in the very beginning was I thought that I would be able to like go outside and like kneel down and weed a little and get up. I have a pool, so I would go in and dump my skimmer, bend down, get up. What I didn't realize is every time I bent down and got up, the dizziness that I feel on a regular basis got worse. So by the time I dumped the skimmer, picked a couple things up off the ground, maybe folded some towels, whatever, by the time I got back around and came into my house, I was so dizzy that I had to lie down for like 2, 3 hours, and my morning was over. And I cried. And I remember my daughter being with me, who deals with anxiety and things like that. And she just hugged me, and she's like, I'm sorry you feel this way, but now at least you know what my life's been like. um, I don't know how to say don't have an expectation, but you can't have an expectation with this. You can't. Um, it took me a really long time to figure that out. What I did learn is stop bending down and picking things up off the ground, because the more you do that, the worse your dizziness is and your day is over. So I had to think about that. If I'm going to do laundry in the morning and I have to bend down and get stuff out of the dryer, then here's my energy line. I've just shortened it. So if I'm going to take sheets off the bed and remake the bed, I just cut into that time. So now I think about sleep. So your fatigue is one piece. So think about sleep and how much sleep you're getting. What I have found is I literally need like 10, 12, 13 hours of sleep, and I'm not getting it. So I find that I have to stay in bed longer. The longer I stay in bed in the morning and get good sleep, the better that window of time is energetically for me in the daytime, if that makes sense. So I'm not going to I do get myself out of bed in the morning to help my son get off to school. And then I go back to bed because I know if I stay up and I didn't have good rest, that window is going to be smaller for me. So it's all about what do I need to do to keep my daily energy window bigger. So I'll go back to sleep. So are you getting enough sleep is number one. And then what is that window and how are you managing that window? There was a while there where I was denied. I had private disability insurance and I was denied it. So for 5 months, I had zero pay. It was a nightmare. And I felt like I had to fight for them to understand me. And I was getting doctor documents and, calling for documents and having to explain myself and borrowing money it's just a nightmare. And that I feel like those phone calls and the stress those calls that ate into my energy window. So that was just the mental capacity, the stress, the worry, am I not going to get approved? What's going to happen? All of those things that ate into my energy and created fatigue. So what I find for me, if I start my day, let's say 10 o'clock in the morning, get up, have something to eat, drink some water, ease into my day, take care of my dogs, whatever needs to happen. This is after I get up and take care of my son and go back to bed. And just do my little things around the house that I need to do, then I usually have to lie down by 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Then I'll do a few more things. And then maybe I have to lie down around 4 o'clock. Then I'll cook dinner, for my family or whatever needs to happen. And then I have to lie down again around 7 o'clock. And then I'll do whatever I need to do. And then I need to, go to bed. So I am having to lie down all the time. If it's bad, if I am exposed to loud sounds, if I happen to go out and be around people, which I try not to do, if it's a holiday, if it's a birthday or something like that, the next day, I might be on the couch literally all day. I am fatigued. My eyes hurt. I have a really bad migraine. I need to deal with that. So you have to give yourself a break and let yourself recover. That next day for me is recovery. If I have to go to a grocery store, forget it. I go to the grocery store knowing that I'm going to come home, put the stuff away, maybe not all of it. I put the frozen stuff away, but I might not even be able to put all of it away, honestly. And then I need to lie down. I need quiet, darkness usually. And I just need to lie down because I'm so tired. Sometimes I feel winded. Sometimes I feel like my heart rate goes up. Sometimes my blood pressure is affected too. I really, really recommend you should all have your automatic blood pressure cuff in the house. I track my heart rate on my watch, and I have a pulse oximeter. So you all should know what your regular heart rate is. You should all know what your regular blood pressure is. And when you have anything weird or funky, you should be tracking that. I track that stuff on my calendar, and your symptoms and all of that. So when you go see your doctor, you can talk about it because not all that stuff is normal and not all of it has to do with VM. So, you should be keeping track of that. So that's the first thing. The second thing is insomnia. And I remember talking to my doctor. I was like, I can't fall asleep at night. How can I be so exhausted during the daytime? And then I go to sleep and I can't sleep. Like, what is going on? And I have pretty good sleep hygiene, and I always have. And this is new to me, and I don't understand what's going on. So she said, yeah, that's part of it. She's like, that's because you have migraines. That's insomnia is a piece of it. So there's obviously a few things that they recommend. And this is because sometimes migraines mess up our circadian rhythm, our ability to kind of the night, day, 24-hour cycle. So, obviously watch your screen time, lights, do you have a really good routine when you're going to sleep at night? You should have one, all of that kind of thing. So, insomnia is not unusual for people with VM. So I'm just going to read a couple of things that my doctor recommended to me that I'm going to share with you. She recommends 20 minutes a day of sunshine in your eyes a day. So like you should get outside or in a window and let real sunshine hit your eyes every day. And I will tell you, I have a couple, my mom used to have seasonal affective disorder. So I have two of those lights that people use for ultraviolet light, even use those. But she said, you have to have natural sunlight every day. My doctor recommend magnesium threonate, 144 milligrams daily. I know different, everybody, the doctors recommend magnesium, different types. My doctor recommends magnesium threonate, 144 milligrams daily, vitamin B complex once a day, coenzyme Q10, 100 milligrams twice a day. So that seems to be the brain cocktail, the CoQ10, the vitamin B, and the magnesium. My doctor recommended melatonin at night for sleep, fish oil daily, sleep, good sleep, and minimize screens, obviously. A migraine relief cap, which I've talked about in another video. This is what I have. Again, I keep this in the freezer. It's almost like a neoprene. It's kind of heavy. It has a hole on top if I want to wear a ponytail. But this goes right on my head. It comes in a reusable plastic bag, so you can put it in the freezer. But this I keep frozen, and I could put it on my head, totally on my head. You can cover your eyes with it even if you want to. And it is frozen, and it is the best thing on the planet. I use this a couple times a day if I need to, but I use it at night. You can cover your eyes or you cannot. Hello. But this is a migraine relief cap. I got this on Amazon, and it's pretty cold, and it stays pretty cold for like 20 minutes. It's really great. She also recommended a scalp massager. I haven't used it, but she did recommend it. So again, two of the things that people don't really talk about with vestibular migraine is fatigue and insomnia. A couple other things that I do recommend for going to sleep at night or even dealing with fatigue or insomnia in the daytime is meditation techniques. Listen, I know meditation's not for everybody, and I know for some people it's really difficult. So I'm just going to make some recommendations. First of all, there's an app called Insight Timer. It's free. And they have guided meditations. You could do 5-minute, 10-minute, half hour, whatever. Some of them are meditations. Some of them are like stories. They're awesome. So some of them you're just breathing with them. Some of them they're talking you through it. Some are more spiritual. Some are more biological, whatever. There's a little something for everybody. So you could do Insight Timer. I think it's really good. It just gets you really in the present and gets you focused. If you're that kind of person who has lists and you always think, it gets you out of that and will get you more in your body and kind of get you out of a stress mode and will help you. So I like Insight Timer. It's really, really good. It also teaches you how to meditate. If you don't know how and you're like, I want to learn how to do it, they'll teach you. So I like that one. The other one I like is the Calm app. I've used the Calm app for years. By the way, if you're an educator, maybe there's for other people too, but I was an educator, so I know this, but they have discounts if you're an educator. The Calm app has also guided meditations. It also has sleep stories, which I love. There's one Cillian Murphy does, and he talks about taking a train around Ireland. It's awesome. Some are like you visit an antique store in the rain. There's a million of them. They also have music. They have one, it's like a slow version of Post Malone Circles, but it's like a long thing. Anyway, you name it. um, they have some meditations, but a lot of it is sleep stories. So if you're not a meditation person, but you need to calm your brain down, you just like put on a nice story. Some of them are fictional stories, some are biology. They even have that guy from Ferris Bueller, Bueller. He like he reads like some economics book to you. Like you want to really go to sleep, he reads this economics book. It's kind of funny. So there's the Calm app. On YouTube, there's lots of things. You can go to YouTube and just type in Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is awesome. That's like really gets in your body, and also it's kind of like a guided meditation, muscle relaxation out of your mind. Awesome. You could just do any kind of Yoga Nidra. Those are great. And I'm a huge fan of Bella Ruth Napperstack. When I taught psychology, I used to use her meditations in class. What I like about Bella Ruth Napperstack is that she has meditations for all kinds of things. Like if you're in chronic pain, she has guided meditations for chronic pain. Anxiety is a really big piece with a lot of people that have vestibular migraine. So there's Bella Ruth does guided meditations for anxiety, which is I used to use that in class actually. It's really, really good. I've used some of hers before going into surgery. There's all kinds of things. So you can check out her stuff. I think it's on Spotify. You can go to YouTube, just kind of Google her stuff or go into Spotify or YouTube and you can find it. So those are kind of my tips for that. I'm a huge fan also of essential oils. Your environment is super, super important. So the place where you sleep, is it calm? Is it quiet? Make sure there's just not a lot of stuff around. Is it orderly? I like to use essential oils, of course, lavender, vetiver, cedarwood, frankincense. All those things are very, very calming. You want to stay away from citrus stuff. That's uplifting. Peppermint, that's uplifting. You want your really calming oils. So there's a lot of things you can do to create an environment that's very calm and soothing and happy for you. Colors matter, sound matters. Turn the news off for Pete's sake. Read books that are calming and soothing for you. If you can even read. I can't read with this VM stuff. I listen to audiobooks. So sometimes before I go to bed, I'll listen to an audiobook and then maybe I'll do a guided meditation or something like that. So really we have to focus, you guys, on our circadian rhythms. And really at the end of the day, give yourself a break. You just got to give yourself a break. Your to-do list, shorten it. And then when you look at it, shorten it again. Your expectation for yourself needs to be to take care of yourself. That needs to be number one. You are not the person you were before VM. It took me a good 6 to 7 months to get over that. Having expectations for myself like I was the person before I had VM. I'm not, and I'm not going to get that stuff done. I hired somebody, actually, it was before I had VM. I had a really bad zipline accident and I broke my back and had to get a spinal fusion, whatever. That's another whole story. I can't clean my own house. I can't bend over and clean a bathtub. I can't do it. So I have someone who cleans my house every 2 weeks. She cleans my bathrooms, my kitchen, because I can't do it. And I'm over feeling guilty about it. What I feel guilty about is not getting my house clean. So I pay someone to do that. She is awesome at it. She has her own business. She, makes a living doing this awesome work. And I end up having a clean house for it. So I don't feel bad paying someone to clean my house for me because I can no longer do it. That's what happened when you have a really bad accident. That's what happens when you have a condition like we have. You need help. I'm a single person. So yeah, I need help. So I'm going to have someone help me clean my house, right? I'm going to take up offers. If someone says, hey, do you want to go out for dinner, or do you want to come over to my house for dinner, or can I make you dinner? Yes, because sometimes I need help. Hey, I'm going to Costco. I know it's hard for you to go. Can I pick up some things for you? Yes, because Costco makes me feel sick. It makes me feel dizzy. I can't go there all the time. Yes. So the answer is when people offer to help you, the answer is yes. Yes, please. Don't be afraid to ask for help because this here's not easy. The other piece is mentally, this is tough. I've been going to a counselor every Thursday since I had my zipline accident because PTSD as well. For real PTSD. I know people throw that term around like, oh, I have PTSD. No, I like legit, no joke, have PTSD. And thank God I go see her because she's helped me through this process as well. It's been really, really difficult to navigate vestibular migraine. And I've been able to reality check and have the help of a professional psychotherapist to go through this. And I say this on, the vestibular migraine group I'm in all the time. It's really hard for people to understand what you're going through. And even people with their family and friends, they might not have the support they need or just, how do you even just deal with this? And it's really helpful just to have a counselor there to help you mentally, psychologically get through this because it's not easy. It's not even close to easy. So I also recommend maybe adding that person to your team. This is not just a physical thing. This is also a mental and psychological thing. So consider adding a counselor to your team to help you through this. So anyway, that's fatigue and insomnia and a bit more with vestibular migraine. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.